Hello, hello, this is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts. Welcome to my channel. Hello, all my subscribers, and welcome, new subscribers. It's so good to have you all here. And we are back with the Christmas journal. And I couldn't wait to show you this cover. I did get some glue on top of it, but we're going to... I'm back. We're going to... try something to see if we can fix a little bit of that and to protect the cover. But we're going to try it on a little piece of paper that did not work out. The reason I left this like this is because I wanted to tell you, after I allowed this to dry front and back, when it was good and dry, I pulled this together like it's supposed to be, you know, in the shape of the book, so that it would keep its shape and not be a pop-up like this, because it was kind of like this, you know, where it would just flop around. But you can see now it pretty much holds its shape. Of course, it won't stand together right now because it's, you know, just the logistics of how it's standing and stuff. But when you close it down, it's pretty good. So, let me go to the inside. It looks pretty bad. Now, I had, was going to, let me figure out where to put the signatures. We have 3 of them. There's no order in them at all. I started with an order and, well, you know, so much for that. So we put this in, and I already told you I was going to recover this with a fabric, but I added that little extra piece in there to sturdy up the spine a little bit. And along with this fabric that we were going to put in here, these were going to be put in. And the thing with these is the fabric would have to come up over them. See if I can line them up approximately. Okay, so about like that. That's not perfect. And then I had this piece of fabric left, and I wanted to turn these corners in, but I turned them way too deep on both ends, so they would have to go under. Well, that won't work, because what happens is this, when it opens and closes, it's going to start pulling away from the glue here on the cover, just because it's a weak area that is well worked. So this will not work, but we are going to try this on a piece of cardboard to see if, and just hold your thought on this just a moment. So we got to do something to this first. So let me grab a piece of extra cardboardy stuff. I think that would be a good example. And just to make it fun, I'm going to cut it off right down here. Just in case it works out. This is just in case. And I don't know, how tall do we want it? Right to there, I guess. So of course, it never cuts right there first. I knew that. Okay, I'm just going to toss those because they have glue all over them. Okay, so first we're going to just glue this down to this piece of cardboard. And let's see. Right about here to here. We have that spare space. Not a square space, but a spare space. just filled my glue today. And I'm using Fabri-Tac. Now I could use the matte gel medium, I'm sure, to glue this down. But I'm just going to go this way with it first. And on all the others, because this is a very thin, almost a polyester-y type of fabric, I'm going to push this down, otherwise it's going to come right through the surface of it and it won't be how we want it. It will be, it will be hard in spots, like where the glue is thicker. It won't give it a nice, nice texture on the top. Now, I wonder if the dog took off with my rakes. Oh dear. Okay, so let's just, where we're going to start? Bottom? Okay, flip it over this way then. Figure out where you're going to start. You can always cut it off at the top or the bottom. I think I am putting it on crooked, actually. Going to get this. Now, this is just a practice item because I want to see if we can put matte medium over the top and have it turn out nicely. That is what would protect it. So we're going to let this dry, this glue underneath, and then we'll apply the matte medium gel. Okay, so there's that, see? And if it does work out, then we have a nice little front for our booklet. Always some reason. So back to this guy, girl. Back to this little gal. So I tried all kinds of things, and what I finally decided to do was take these out of the picture because I really needed to cut them deeper, longer, this way, a better width. And these, they just won't work. Absolutely not. So then I decided I would go with this. This is the one out of the background pack. And we have one that goes here. And you can see I cut it almost to the edges this time. And it will go down into this part. And we'll be able to glue it down and really push down on it. And then I cut this one to go over here. Now, for some reason, it's a little crooked, but we're going with it anyway. It's almost like maybe the book is a little higher. Hard to say. So that gives us more coverage here with this being down into the spine area. And then this piece, I have, I cut it at 5 and, there's about an eighth, about 5 and 3/16 wide for this, so that I could use a wide punch on here. The punch that I have is this one. I thought it was a Martha Stewart, but it might not be. Oh yeah, Martha Stewart. There's the name. So this is a nice wide one. And I did a practice piece first to be sure. And that was how I decided how wide I wanted to make this part. You can see this one's too short. So it was just a practice, but it can be used for pockets now. It'll look very pretty. Okay, so that brings us to here. And on this one, after I got it all lined up and figured out, I figured out where my center point was. The way I did that, Carol, you'll love this. I took a long piece of paper and I made it this as wide as the tallest point on both sides. Just a little strip. I folded it in half and got my center point. Now the other thing you can do, and I did it both ways and it worked out the same, but I just took my shortest point here where the holes are, and I cut a strip that big and folded it in half, and I got my center point right here. So that's a good way to get a center point on something like this when you don't want to fold the paper itself in half. And then, once again, I took a piece of paper, just about, I don't know, about that wide, and it was just out of my junk paper drawer over the paper box, and I cut it this length, whatever the length of your book is, and I'll tell you mine here in a little bit. So I don't want to give you a bunch of measurements because this is a regular book that I excavated earlier in the week, so that I could use the cover. So I folded that in half and got my center point here. So then I drew a line all the way down this center point, and then I drew a line across here because I have 3 signatures. Now I don't have these points in yet, but I still have a center line and a center line. So next what I did was I had to figure out where I wanted. Did I want a 5-hole pamphlet stitch or a 3-hole? I decided to go with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch because it will take a lot less time doing 3 signatures. So normally I would bring this down about 1/2 inch, which would be right about here, and then maybe 1/4 inch below that. But to get my first hole. But instead I measured down my 1/2 inch and then I went 3/4 more to get this center point right here. So I did it for all 3 areas. Well, let me just say, right now I have this one. Did the same thing on the bottom and got this one. Am I on camera? Okay, to get these, I had to make a decision. Now, I did go to my Happy Blue ruler, and I figured out where the spine sunk down in. So, it sunk down into 2 1/8. So I just barely lined that up, and I put my 1 on my first center point that I made, or here. I made one at the bottom. I put it on that one. And then I went over to 3/8 inch here, and 5/8 inch over here. Now I'm not sure it's going to work. So what we need to do is find our signatures. What did I do with them? Here they are. Now they have these tabs on them, but I can tell by looking at the center here that that's probably going to work good. I didn't want these to come apart, so I clip them together. So here's one right there. There's the other right about there. So that is going to work out really well for getting a few more items in the journal. Now, it's going to bulk out. I can tell that. If I didn't want it to bulk out, I'd have to give it a much wider spine. And I don't want to give it a much wider spine. So we're going to let it get fat and fluffy if we have to. Or we'll be more careful and make sure we use considerably flat items inside. Each of these signatures has 19 or 20 pieces of folded paper in it. Some might have 21. I'm not really sure because I folded papers over and over to get 4 sides to them, 4 folds in them. So there's that. So what we're going to do today is, first let's fill this, almost dry. We're going to put this in, and we're going to put these on. So let's start with these guys because we need to get these guys glued on and really work down into these crevices here. We got to train it to go downhill right here. Downhill. Down the slopes with you. So I'm just going to rub that for a second to kind of tell it that I'm going to be bending it. I'm really sorry about my voice. Ever since I had COVID in May, I've lost so much of the use of my voice. Oh my gosh, you know, for me that is like, hey, give me back my voice. I'm such a talker. I like to talk. Okay. So that's just kind of, you know, giving it a little bit of leeway there. Kind of, you know, you can feel the bend in it. You can't really see it, but you can feel that it feels a little almost thinner. But I don't think it's any thinner. Okay, so we're going to glue this one in first. And before we do that, we need to ink it up, don't we? I've debated whether or not I should be using like pink or blue on these. But we're going with the usual. I'm just finishing this side just so I feel like I've finished the whole page. It won't show. But I am going to just apply this pretty lightly around the edges. I get kind of heavy-handed with it. And sometimes it doesn't look so good. So you're probably wondering, what color is she using? I am using the Color Box Espresso. It's an archival ink. I really like it. It does stain your table if you get it on your table. It does stain your hands for a little bit if you get it on your hands. But Dawn dishwashing liquid seems to get rid of it much quicker on your hands. So I forgot to start my timer, so I'm going into this with a late timer. Darn timer. I don't know why it can't look at me and say, oh, you're here, and start. Okay, so there is that. Now this one, oh dear. Oh dear. I'm just going to go around these edges. I'm not going to try and get all in there. It's just impossible. I suppose I could if I used one of my blending brushes, but it's just kind of hard to get in there. In each and every one of them. That's a lot of holes to fill with ink. But it'll look good with these done like that. Oh, the one thing I did on this after I got this all marked out was, what did I do? Oh, I marked top and bottom, a T and a B. So, you know, once I figured out my spacing between, then I drew straight lines. You know, from my middle lines, I drew, made a mark, 3/8 and 5/8, and drew that line down. Then I was able to put in all my crosses to make my holes. Okay. So that is ready for that. Let's put it over there. Let's check this first. Okay, it's dry. Let's hop over to this real quick. Let's see. I need a piece of waxy paper or something. Aha! There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to try is matte medium on the top of this. Matte gel medium. Oh, if I can get it open. This is a new one. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I've used it. I have. Good for me. Okay. So, just going to try this on the top. Ready? I'm a little nervous. But I do need to find out if it will seal it so that if the book gets dirty, it can be wiped off, you know. Now that was way too much of me to do. I'm one of those people. Well, if a little works, what will a lot do? Oh boy. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry now, not right here. That's going in water. I'm recovering my gel medium. And where can I move this? That the cat won't jump on it. Oh boy, that cat would go crazy if he jumped on that glue. I'm just going to set it over there for now. And let's see. Back to what we were doing. Let me make sure there's nothing sticky. Because if there is, we don't want it on the book. Okay, we're going to start with this one, and we're going to glue it in there. I hope I wasn't out of camera when I put that matte medium on there. Want it to go to the edges. I'll probably go over it with my finger by the edges there. Top and bottom edges. This is where it's going to glue down into that golly. That little downhill part there. If you don't want your glue to come out and get all over the edge. Sometimes doing this can help. I don't care what comes out in here because we're going to have a cover over it. So I like to start at this edge and get the top to the bottom along this edge. And then a little at a time go towards the center. Now, let's see. I want to do this. Now, this is where it sometimes squishes the glue out, so just be aware that you might have cleanup to do. Okay. And you want to make sure it gets down in there so that your book will bend properly. And when I'm done with this today, it'll go back in that clamp and stay that way until I come back to put the signatures in it. Okay, that feels pretty good. Let's see what it does. You get ready to bend your book up. Just keep rubbing that in there. You see that? Okay. I think that did it. Looks good. It looks so nice. Let's do this one. So how is everybody today? I hope you're all doing well. I've been listening to some people and they're coming down with COVID. My goodness, I'm so sorry for them. Damn nasty bug. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to cuss. But it's kind of frustrating that we even have it. Okay, enough said so I don't get in trouble. Don't want to get blacklisted. Okay. Oh, my rag fell on the floor. Oh, there it is. Okay. So once again, starting over here, but make sure once you line this up that you're kind of lined up over there too. Looks pretty good, yeah. This one feels a little different. But like I said, it felt like the book was a little crooked here. And like I said before, we will be putting corner things on these to protect the corners. I haven't made a book-style book in a long time. Even though I didn't make the cover itself, it still is a lot of work to do a regular book type cover. I'm going to flip this around just so I can get on the other side of it and start working that down into the... You don't want to tear your paper, so you're not being super heavy on it. It looks like I am, but it's just a firm pressure. And you can feel as it starts to give way here. You can see it's not wanting to go all the way down in. There it goes. You can kind of feel it giving way to the spine, you know, the book closure. And go around these edges again if you need to. Where the corners come up and it's a little thicker there, you might have to go over it a couple of times. And then you might have to come back and squeeze a little bit of glue in there, in which case I would use the art glitter glue with the nib on it to get that nib under there. Okay. Let's turn it back around the way it belongs. Oh yeah, nice. Going to put that line back in. Yeah, look at that. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. It's so pretty. Okay. Top, bottom. Bottom, top. Now, when you go to insert this spine, make sure that you have your center line on here so that you can kind of line these up. Now, I did not put my center line at the top. Shame, shame, shame on me. But I didn't do it. This is where if you want ribbons that you can put into your book that fold out of here, and this is where you would insert those ribbons if you do that. It's kind of fun to do. I wonder if I have one here. Do I have one close by that we could do? Let me grab one. Why not? Let's do it. Oh, here's some really soft stuff that I used for my granddaughter's flowers. And not red. What is that? Probably not. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So I had this pretty pink silky ribbon that I used at for my granddaughter's ballet thing. So this is where you would insert that. Is right back here. So do we want it or not? Let's just cut one of these and see. It's a little long. I wonder if that is too wide. If that would be too wide on the book. Can't tell front and back. I cannot tell. So let's say it's right there. I think it might be too wide. I think I would have to find the smaller one. Hang on a second, I'll grab one. Okay, I'm back. So I think this one would work okay. This is a really nice one, but it's really kind of the wrong color. It's much brighter. That one had a piece of tape on it. So this is where you have to decide, do I want one or two? I'm going to clip it right above that tape. Do you want one, two, or three? So here's one for that signature. It looks like it could be long enough. So if that's what we're going to do, then we would probably want to glue this to here first. And I think so, probably right about there. Wait. Oh, okay, I inked it. Never mind. I already inked it. Let's see if that's the right spot. Yes, it is. Now, just remember, if you're inserting these, they're probably going to get in your way when you're trying to put your book together. So you'll have to clamp them to the paper of your signature. So there's one. Let's do another one. I'll do this one a little bit longer, I think. And I'll go ahead and make this one. Okay. So somewhere right over here and somewhere right over here. So this one we bring up from there. I'm just running it right along that line. Gonna hold it and press it over. There we go. And now I'm going to do that with this one. Just going to run it straight along that line and fold it over. Okay. Now, those are ready to be put into the signatures, and we'll see how it goes. It may not work. It might not work, guys. So now we have this little piece up here that could use, you know, you've seen those little things up on the books. You have to decide if you want one of those on it too. I don't think we're going to need one because we're going to glue this right in. So, okay. So I'm going to line the bottom one up with this line and these lines. And then I'm going to come up here and look and adjust it just a little bit. And so there we go. That's where it's going to go. Okay. A lot of work to get one of these settled in place, isn't it? Okay, now let's see if I can do this. Going to start with the center. Whoops. If you get a drip, just quickly clean it off and carry on. And before I punch holes, I'm going to let this dry all the way because I don't want it to slip or anything. Okay, so I'm going to go around this way. Around all those. And I'm not following a line. I'm trying, but I'm not. So very lightly go over it. Going to flip it over. Do the same thing over here. I can always come back with glue. There will be cleanup with holes in it like this. Okay. Here we go. Lining that up right there. The nice thing about this Fabri-Tac is there is some maneuvering time. Don't press it down solid until you're ready. Excuse my head. I've got to get in the way here for a second. Okay, I think we're there. I'm going to clean off my hands because I don't want to get stuff all over in the book. Kind of letting that stuff set up a little bit, so when I should have wiped it down first before I set it down, but wasn't thinking of that part. I should have been, because too much glue will make it look dirty. Especially with the ink, you know, because the acetone in this glue will cause the ink to run a little bit. Okay, now that is glue and ink from my hands and the book. So you can see that it peels up really quite a bit. That's okay. This works. Okay, now I'm ready to work on pressing these down a bit and reworking the spine once again. Okay. We may have to apply a little bit of matte medium here as well, to make sure that stays down. Oh boy. Let's get these guys out of the way. because I can see that one's going to leak a little bit. Oh, slipped right out of my hand. Now I can see that there's going to be a little gap right there, so I'll probably have to find a nib for my art glitter glue, and I quit using the nibs actually because I got tired of cleaning them, is all. You know, I have an easy way to clean them, but it's still a lot of work. So anyway, so that's what I did. Okay, so I am going to carefully bend this. Oh, not yet, I'm not. Okay, that one feels pretty good. Okay. It's right where that ribbon is there. You can see there's some little gaps in here, so that will need some glue. But before we do that, we're going to, I think we'll leave this flat to dry for now, and then we'll work on that. Because that really needs to dry right there on the ribbons. Okay, let's leave it to dry. Let's find our, right here, just a minute. Some glue leaked out back here underneath the ribbon. It's on our pretty book. Like here is a glue spot that I got on it the other day. So, okay, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to leave it like that, I think. No, I need it like this so that this stays down. Okay, don't know. I'm going to put it over here. Whoops. I just set my ribbon down on this. Oh, it's still very wet. So we'll have to check this next time that you stop by. I hope it dries really good. I don't know why I thought it'd be dry by the time we got done, but I did. Okay, well, that is how you put together and ready your spine with ribbons and fancy cutouts and get it designed nicely. You can see how it's going to look. And oh, that's gonna be nice. Look at that. Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Do need that one to stay down though. So I know I'm going to have to clamp it. That's gonna have to be clamped. Yes, yes, yes. I'd rather they glued in this way, but I need them to, well, I just need them to stay out of the way. That's what I need. Need you to stay out of the way right now. Where's my other big clamps? These are really tighter than the big ones anyway. Nope, that one won't work. That's a nice tight one. Let's do that one. There we go. Whoops, not that one. Oh my goodness, that one's rough. That was a tight one. And one more, my friends, one more. Let's put this one here, and I think let's take this one. Well, that did fit pretty good right there. Oh, well. Let's go with blue. Okay, we're all clamped together, and we're singing a song. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Cleaning off my glue tip. And I'm going to let you go for today. And let's see, when we come back, we will have holes to punch and signatures to put in. I might do the hole punching and put in 2 signatures and then bring you back for the last signature. I think I really want this one at the front because I love that picture. And I love this one. I want to go there. Don't you? Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so pretty, you guys. Okay. Well, if we don't get a chance to do this the next time I'm here, we'll definitely work on one of the signature pages and see what we can do to spice them up. They need some spice. Okay. Love you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. You never know about me. I'm trying to get more timely, but I am a busy person. It's just that simple. So, anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Excuse me just a minute.